Hey everyone, welcome back to Mayordomo. Today we're going to be making sopes. Sopes were originally known as picadita. These are basically thicker tortillas with a border at the edge so the toppings don't fall off and they're easier to eat. They have refried beans, your choice of meat, lettuce, sour cream, salsa, queso fresco, and I mean you really can't go wrong with these right here. These are so freaking good. Um, we're gonna be making three different kinds, and the only thing we're gonna be really switching up is the salsas and the meat. We're gonna do an al pastor kind, chicken, and carne asada type. Let's get started. Russet potatoes here. They grow underground, so make sure you scrub them down, get all the dirt off of there, and then you're gonna throw them in the oven for 40 minutes at about 350 degrees. Then we're going to move on to our beans. We're using pinto beans again. We're going to add a little bit of flavor to these beans. Not your traditional Mexican route, but we're going to add cumin, bay leaf, chile de árbol, garlic, and about a quarter piece of that onion. Get a little bit of canola oil into your pot and saute up all those ingredients just so they release a little bit of flavor before you add your beans. And you're going to have really nice tasting beans. You're going to use them for anything else, really. But I'm going to just make these really nice because I'm the one that's eating them. And fill it up with water. There you go. Bring it up to a boil and then down to a low simmer. And just let them go while you prepare everything else. Add your salt at this time, too. So there we go. Now we got our potatoes working. We got our beans working. And now we're going to start on salsa verde. And, I mean, take your time with this stuff. You know, make a day out of it. You can also work on your salsa verde a day ahead of time, your beans a day ahead of time, and your potatoes, honestly, a day ahead of time. Just give it the time it deserves. You're going to eat this stuff, so make sure it tastes good. I rinsed off my tomatillos. I rinsed off a couple serrano peppers. Now I'm going to peel my garlic. A cool little trick with my garlic is you smash it down a little bit so it's easier to peel. So much easier to peel than trying to peel them when they're whole. And I'm going to rinse off cilantro right now and wrap it in my paper towel so by the time I chop it for my topping, it's nice and dry and it's not sticking to my fingers because it's all wet. Onion here, I'm going to use another quarter piece for my salsa, and the other piece I'm going to be using it for my toppings. And there we go. Get it all onto your grill, hot as hell it needs to be. So they char. You don't want to boil these or steam these. You want these to char. The longer you cook tomatillos, the more bitter they become. And this is what you're looking for. Nice little char marks. Do them on both sides. And then before you blend this with the cilantro, let it cool for a little bit. Because it'll just kill your cilantro. It'll make your salsa go bad faster. So just wait for it to cool. Now, let's start our salsa roja. Our salsa roja here is going to be white onion again, tomate, garlic, and oregano. And we're going to use guajillo chili and chile de árbol dried. So this is more like a hot sauce. That's why there's so many chilies. But, I mean, it's fine. You don't have to add a lot of this stuff. It's more just for flavor. You want a little bit of hot sauce on your sopes. And start with your tomatoes first. You want to boil those down for about 10 minutes. Your onion, your garlic, and your oregano. And then you add your chiles and let it go for another 10 minutes. And then you blend it up till it's as smooth as you want it. Tongue twister. And salt it. Make sure you taste and you taste and salt again if it needs it. Some people do all this work and then they don't salt enough because they're scared to oversalt and it comes out tasting bland. So taste and taste again. And we did all this, your salsa verde and your salsa roja, while the beans are cooking and while your potatoes are cooking. So that's badass multitasking. So I bought store-bought marinated meat because it's just easier. I mean, you want to make this as easy as possible, and there you go. I am kind of cheating, but it's fine. I'm going to salt these up, and I'm going to get my al pastor ready at the same time. I'm going to season this up, a little bit of salt, and I'm going to get my grill nice and hot so it's ready for my carne asada, because this is the sound you want to hear, that sizzle. That means you're doing it right. That means it's going to char up really nice. It sucks because I live in an apartment and all this smoke ends up everywhere. So be careful with your fire alarm if you live in an apartment. There you go. I'm going to get my pan ready for my al pastor. And you should hear that same sound, that sizzle. So it caramelizes, so it tastes good. And while this is all going, you know, since I'm a great multitasker, I'm going to get my chicken going. And I'm going to throw this in the broiler because I have no more room on my stove for another pan. So I'm seasoning this up. Same thing. I bought the store-bought stuff. It's fine. I'm going to use it. I'm going to throw it under the broiler. And I flip my meat. Those are the marks that you should see. Nice and char. I'm going to get this to rest for a little bit. Meanwhile, I'm going to get my toppings ready, which is my cilantro. And I like chopping this up as fine as possible. And that's it. My cebolla, nice fine dice. Again, you're going to be the one to eat this stuff, so just make it as big or as small as you want. Now I'm going to peel my potatoes since they're finally done. It's easier to peel while they're hot, but it's harder to peel because they're so hot, if that makes sense. I'm going to pass this through my ricer. I'd also smash this down with a fork and add a little bit of butter just so they're more pliable and easier to spread when it's time to plate your sopes. And that's about it. I'm going to let this chill out in the microwave so the butter melts. And meanwhile, it's time to cut my steak. Dice it up as big or as small as you want. And I'm going to hold this in the microwave, or if you want to hold it in the oven, that's fine. Just put it at 200 degrees so it doesn't dry out. Chicken, same thing. As big or as small as you want. And we're almost ready to eat. I'm going to heat up my canola oil so I can fry my sopes finally. And this is probably the last step. You want to hear that sizzle. You hear that sizzle? That sounds beautiful. You're going to get your sopes nice and crispy. And it should be about 350 degrees so they come out golden. Flip them over so they're nice and toasty on both sides. Let them drain off into a paper towel so all the residual oil just falls off. And now it's time to plate them. And this is where you get creative. Add your beans, add your potatoes, and then put whatever toppings you want on them. A little bit of lettuce, your chicken, salsa roja. Remember, careful, this stuff is spicy. And you're just building these however you want. Cilantro, crema. Add whatever you want to these, as much as you want. And enjoy your freaking sopes. You did all this work. You made sure all this stuff tasted right. Now it's time to enjoy them. And I'm adding a little avocado to my sope of al pastor. And there it is. We're done. I plated up a couple different ones, different styles. I did it however I wanted. But there you have it. Enjoy. Alright, here we go. Sopes are done. They look so damn good. This is the carne asada one. Uno de pollo y uno del pastor con su aguacatito. Ay. This is good stuff right here. The sopes are like perfectly fried. They're still crispy. The frijoles are on point. It's good. This is a good meal. This is one of my favorites, honestly. I'm gonna eat all three. No lie. That's it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time on Mayordomo.